Wert für Sie darstellen. Und ich darf Ihnen als allererstes und er kommt selbst aus der Entwicklung und hat in den letzten Jahren sich mehr und mehr mit Kundenanforderungen beschäftigt und durch kompetente Ansprechpartner. Er hat Erfahrungen von Industrien wie Verlagswesen, Energie, aber auch anderen. Und ja, ich denke, wir dürfen uns auf eine spannende Präsentation freuen. Und ich gebe jetzt einfach das Wort an Neil über, damit er beginnen kann. Neil, please start with your presentation. We are really looking forward.
As Ralph has told you, good day to everybody. As Ralph has told you, we will be discussing top 10 use cases of Alfresco. How with that you can enhance your IT ecosystem. Ralph, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
So we'll go through 10 use cases for Alfresco, and what we do is in the agenda for today will be, in the beginning we will look at some of the statistics and details and features of Alfresco. So that's the part of about Alfresco. Post that we will look at 10 use cases for Alfresco across industries like travel and hospitality, gaming, manufacturing, BFSI, retail, healthcare, education, telecom, media and publishing. So based on all these discussions, I'll put across some of the features and places where we can use Alfresco across various industries. So Alfresco, and at the end we will have a portion of about CIGNEX Datamatics, that is about the company that we work in. Raj will do that. Now, if we look at Alfresco as an overview, Alfresco was founded in 2005. It has offices in UK and US in Atlanta. It has over 3 million community downloads. It has 250 plus channel partners, and it has 2,500 or so customers in 55 countries. It's basically the largest open source content management company in the world. It does enterprise content management, which is basically an aggregate term of records management, document management, WCM, and some of the other fringe technologies. Some of the customers who are using Alfresco, include Toyota, Marriott, Kaplan, and many others. Now, as I was saying, for the overview of Alfresco, the term ECM, it actually comprises of 5 or 6 things, and all of these are covered in Alfresco. They being document management, records management, web content services, which is something similar to WCM. How do we publish content to any of the portal or other platform? Enterprise collaboration, and overall it's a open source platform with which we can connect to various other systems. Now, which are these parts? If we speak of enterprise collaboration, we can create project teams, we can share, collaborate, we can discuss. All these things are done in a product of Alfresco called Share. If you look at the web content services part, we can publish to Drupal, Library, JBoss portal, or your custom web application, or many other applications for web portals which are available. Records management is also available in Alfresco. It actually, decides the compliance and retention for various company and government records. Another important and standard feature which is present in Alfresco is the document management part. You have a platform for capturing and retaining all the corporate content, to store documents, videos, images, and many other types of stuff. Alfresco is an open source platform. It's an open system. It can integrate with almost any other system as long as that system is open to integration. It has RESTful APIs, it has Java, and it follows other open standards like CMIS and JSR 168. So you can build very powerful applications which can connect at the back end, for that matter, with almost any system. Now, looking at our first use case, this is something that CIGNEX had done in the travel and hospitality industry. It was basically a hospitality portal for 7 hotel brands. What were the key challenges that we faced in this? The customer was facing a challenge of increasing revenue for each available room. People did not feel the connection with the hotel, and that's how the system came in. Lead time for making offers to customers was a bit high, and that needed to be reduced. So for this, what we did is we came up with a document management and a web content management solution. There was a content repository in which search and access was available. It had a very flexible architecture. It had data security in it. It was a multilingual solution. It had also multi-currency support. If you look at the architecture for the system, it had Alfresco as the ECM part and Lightre as the portal. There was deployment to FSR or what we call WCM onto the Lightre portal. Alfresco had multiple servers and Oracle database at the backend. Metadata was obviously stored as well onto the Alfresco system. It published all the data using the FSR WCM component onto the Lightre portal. Now, and Lightre portal was providing features like search for the hotel destination, special offers, maps and local attractions, and it had many other features like videos, images, and other widgets. That was the overall framework of the system. Authentication and authorization was also coming from Lightre. There were things like blogs and other things. Now, that's about the first use case that we have seen, hospitality portal. It resulted in an increased revenue per room, better customer experience, guest experience, and a reduced total cost of ownership by around 40%. If you look at the second use case, this was for a gaming company. This was basically a WCM and DAM solution, which is web content management and digital asset management solution. What were the challenges that we had faced with this project? There was no single data source for the effective marketing and upselling of the program. There was a lot of duplication of games assets. There was a lot of time-consuming process that was going through for all the content approvals. Security and stability for the digital assets was a problem, which would result in a lot of strain on the resources. Now, in terms of the solution, we used, a rich CMS with ease of integration. So we used Web 2.2 API. We had a unified consumer database in terms of Oracle. Legal risk we eliminated by using content filtering based on the user's age. If you look at the architecture for the system, it had Alfresco as the backend, and it had all the publishing to a streaming server onto various websites. Now, in this case, Alfresco again used a runtime instances which were used for various websites, and the integration was done using the RESTful web services. There was a streaming server on which various videos and large files were stored. At the backend, all the CMS users were integrated using LDAP and using LDAP. Now, that's about this. What was the benefits? A very good CMS experience was provided to all the customers on the language side, along with the English side. There was a lot of control over the content now. Spending was reduced by 40%, and the annual maintenance contract came down from $5 million to about $50,000 in terms of US dollars. Looking at the third use case, this was now what were the challenges that we faced in this sales and marketing portal? This was client had an R&D department which was responsible for all the trends, insights, and reports for the sales and marketing. This had the SAP RPS, but it lacked a lot of collaboration features. workflow features were absent, access rights was a problem, content was pretty decentralized. So here what we did is we provided them with an Alfresco and Library portal which had integration with SAP. We had a custom specific slide viewer. Document and metadata search was much easier now with this system at the front end. Image conversion for documents was available and browsers and other things. And Alfresco was again available at the back end. The integration with Alfresco from Library was done using a web script. What were the benefits? Now workflows were available, a detailed metadata search was available, full text search as well was available, collaboration was much better, user interface experience was much better, security in terms of the access rights was available now. If we look at the use case 4, this was a learning management system for an online university. What were the challenges that we had faced? It had a lot of disparate content platforms. There were more than about 19 learning management systems across various business units. The maintenance cost was very high. Integration between very many LMS and portal applications was not available. Interoperability was an issue in terms of the user interface. Maintenance cost was very high. So we looked at a solution here where we brought in content, specialized content, and we had content transformation workflow which was running on folders based on rules and actions. We had all this automatic version control, inline preview and such features. There was SEO done on top of the content and multi-tier search. In terms of the architecture, the system had Alfresco, Moodle and Library, with Library being the portal part, Moodle being the learning management part, and Alfresco being the repository. Alfresco had all the videos and images plus the metadata. The e-learning, collaboration for students, grading, and all the other course-specific information came from Moodle. Whereas Library had the features of the portal like calendars, chat, message boards, workflows, Google Apps, and many other things like image library. With these three sets of platforms or technologies that were used in the system, there was a coherent system which was available in terms of e-learning plus portal plus a backend ECM. Now, what were the benefits with this system? It gave a universal content model across all the learning management systems. There was a lot of integration with flexibility and scalability. Looking at use case number 5, this was for insurance sector and it was a knowledge management portal. What were the challenges in this? There was low productivity, there was a lot of cost in terms of manual operation, there was low security and high vulnerability during processing. There was no centralized application for managing the business documents. What was the solution? A collaborative knowledge management portal was created by using Alfresco. Document approval workflow was created. Features like tagging, drag and drop, plugins for browsers were built or configured from Alfresco. In terms of security and permissioning, LDAP authentication was configured, external users registration was managed. If you look at the architecture, it has Alfresco at the back end with multiple documents being available and the portal solution in the front end. The user interface was YUI, the Yahoo user interface, which gave a very good look and feel. Some of the benefits, it created firstly a centralized document approval workflow. So instead of having multiple systems, it resulted in one single centralized approval workflow. There was user administration which was available now. There were alerts on top of documents. A lot of maintenance and license costs was decreased. Looking at the use case number 6, for county, it was a county portal for citizens. What were the challenges that were faced? There was high cost of the license. AMC per year and the maintenance for the portal was very high. Upgrades were very time consuming and complex. The efficiency was low and there was slow rolling out of information to citizens. The solution actually consisted of building a custom migration tool which enabled automating of 98+% of the content and migration. Integration was done with systems like SAP, FileNet, and few other payment gateways. Single sign-on was configured. So with single sign-on, you log on to one system and you are also logged into the second or third system. And if you log out with any one of those, you log out from all three. The architecture for this system had Alfresco as the content importer, and it had technologies like JBoss, BroadVision, and MS SQL Server as the RDBMS. There were various sandboxes which were used for publishing content using REST and web scripts to the portal pages. That was the county portal in JBoss. What were the benefits? It had enhanced UI functionalities which were available now with this solution. Administrative features for user management and roles and permissions became much easier. RSS and email alerts were also available for. If you look at use case number 7, this was for a semiconductor company, and this was a WCM or a CMS portal. So web content management, or what we call content management system portal. Some of the challenges which were faced in this system, there was absence of a workflow functionality for approval and publishing of content. There was a lot of high cost structure in terms of duplication for the infrastructure. Multi-site data centers were present. Content transmission was not guaranteed, which basically resulted in high transaction requirement for checking the website. So in terms of checking the website manually, they needed to check regularly all the websites. Now for the solution part, the legacy systems were integrated with Alfresco. Multiple CMS features like import, export, Akamai, cache, and all these things were integrated. There was advanced search using WCM which was available. Multiple 14 sites, migration of all these sites and data, applications and data across 14 sites was done from Documentum to Alfresco WCM. And there was a migration toolkit that we used. If you look at the portal and the ECM backend architecture, it had an Alfresco system at the backend with MySQL and Oracle as the RDBMS. This is an LDAP integration. The front end had the various portals on which using FSR or WCM the publishing was done. Total of 14 websites with 40 GB of content was migrated from Documentum onto Alfresco. There was an integrated workflow, and total cost of ownership reduced by around 80% post deployment of Alfresco. Looking at the use case number 8, which was for the healthcare company, this was a staffing workflow solution. Just before we start, currently, to give you a background of the workflow part for Alfresco, Alfresco used to come with a JBPM engine in the past, and currently it comes with an activity engine, which is a very powerful engine for workflow solutions. So along with document management, records management, and WCM and other features, Alfresco also provides a very powerful workflow engine so that we can build workflows across the system. The same problem around workflows was available, was there for the healthcare company in terms of low operational efficiency and low productivity. The system was semi-automated and the cost of license was very high. So for this, we used the Lifeway Wiki to store the dossiers. We did an integration with Documentum, and there was a REST-based services which was used with Lifeway to store requests in Documentum. In terms of the architecture, it had technologies like Alfresco, IBM Lotus, and the Lifeway portal. The scanned images were coming from RightBack. What were the advantages that came out with this system? It had a flexible ECM architecture which led to a lot of efficiency in terms of recruitment and staffing. 70% of savings were done by eliminating vendor lock-in. So with these we created a contract approval workflow around all the documents right from drafting up to the execution and post-execution, including the search and other things. Drag and drop contract creation was available and bulk upload feature was also available. There were detailed user permission, security and administration features which were available. LDAP authentication was configured. Role-based login statistics were available and multi-level security for all the contracts was available. In terms of the architecture, Alfresco was used as the ECM module and multiple contracts were built at the Alfresco level. There were features like secure login for suppliers and resellers. There were internal users as well who would authenticate against LDAP. We migrated around 100,000 legacy contracts from 500 plus suppliers and 50 plus internal users into the system. In case number 10, this was for a medical company. This was a Drupal and Alfresco WCM solution. The challenges that we faced in this use case were, site performance was an issue. Content mapping from different domains was an issue. The solution consisted of basically a document management system and a web content management system. There was a content repository with search and secure access which was available. We built the system in a way that the architecture was pretty flexible, data security was taken care of, and multiple domains with a central admin support was built. If you look at the architecture, it consisted of the Alfresco as an ECM and Drupal as the CMS. Content was taken from the Alfresco repository using CMIS queries. CMIS services were used, and these services were used to put data content into the Drupal database, and all these various types of content were taken and shown onto the Drupal CMS using things like the modules which had views, articles, blogs. You could view issues, you could view magazines. So all these things were built. Various benefits that came up for this were like high site performance and operational efficiency with good integration between document management and WCM.
For the presentation of these really top 10 use cases. Ja, vielen Dank, Nils, und ich werde jetzt noch eine Kurzvorstellung der CIGNEX Datamatics Gruppe Ihnen geben, wer wir sind, wo können wir Sie unterstützen, was andere über uns sagen. In aller Kürze, der Schwerpunkt liegt ja heute auf den Top 10 Use Cases. Wichtig über uns zu wissen ist, dass wir seit 2000 Open Source Projekte realisieren und rein auf Open Source auch fokussiert sind, weil wir an Open Source glauben, als ein flexibles Instrument wirklich dynamische Geschäftsmodelle zu ermöglichen, die Marktposition zu verbessern, Geschäftsziele zu erreichen und operative Kosten zu senken und vor allen Dingen eine kurze Time to Market zu erreichen. Wir sehen, wir haben über 400 Implementierungen durchgeführt, haben über 450 Experten an Bord, über 200 Integrationen mit existierenden IT-Landschaften. Wir haben Fachbücher veröffentlicht und sind sehr aktiv in den Open Source Communities. Wo können wir Sie unterstützen? Letzten Endes haben wir die Bereiche Portale, Content und Big Data Analytics mit verschiedenen Services, die von der reinen Implementierung bis hoch zum UI-Design gehen. Wir haben in den Portalen eine umfangreiche Erfahrung in der Gestaltung der User Experience Plattform, in Umsetzen strategischer Ziele, die Durchführung der Entwicklung, aber auch den Einsatz, den Betriebsunterstützung und eben auch Maintenance und Support. Themen, die wir umsetzen, sind eben immer wieder Intranet, Extranet, vor allem auch Social Collaboration, Big Data Portale, mobile Portale, Integration mit Backend-Systemen, all diese Themen, die für Portallandschaften immer wichtiger werden. Wir haben ein Team von gut 240 Entwicklern und haben über 200 Projekte hier durchgeführt, haben Fachbücher veröffentlicht Bereich Enterprise Content Management decken wir die ganze Wertschöpfungskette eigentlich ab, inklusive E-Commerce, inklusive E-Learning, Workflow Content Management, Web Content Management, all diese Themen. Wir haben ein Team von gut 110 Entwicklern hier am Start oder 115 Projekte durchgeführt, sind auch ausgezeichnete Alfresco-Partner gewesen, immer wieder haben eigene Konnektoren, eigene Frameworks entwickelt. Im Bereich Big Data arbeiten wir mit Hadoop, mit MongoDB, mit Pentao zusammen, Talent zusammen und dergleichen. Und letzten Endes haben wir hier im Big Data Bereich 110 Entwickler und schon ein gutes Dutzend Projekte gemacht. Wir haben, wie gesagt, Auszeichnungen von unseren Partnern bekommen. Wir haben Auszeichnungen von Experten wie Gartner oder dieses Jahr bekommen, IDC. Wir haben zahlreiche Fachbücher veröffentlicht zum Thema Liferay, zum Thema Alfresco, und wir bieten unterschiedlichste Formen der Zusammenarbeit an, Consulting vor Ort bis zum eigenen erweiterten Entwicklungszentrum für dediziert für einzelne Kunden. Und für Leistungssteiger ist einfach, dass wir uns wirklich konsequent an den Geschäftszielen unserer Kunden ausrichten, dass wir über 450 Experten wirklich haben. Wir haben eine sehr geringe Fluktuation. Wir arbeiten sehr intensiv mit unseren strategischen Partnern zusammen, wie Liferay, Alfresco, USA seit Anfang an. Wir sind Partner von Magento, MongoDB, Cloudera, Aglia und anderen. Wir sehen uns selbst als Vordenker im Bereich Open Source, sind sehr aktiv in den Communities und realisieren immer wieder umfangreiche End-to-End-Lösungen für unsere Kunden. Ja, und zum Schluss noch der Hinweis auf unsere Roadshow am 8. Juni in Frankfurt zum Thema SMAC, Social Mobile Analytics and Cloud. Wie wir sehen als 5. Welle der IT-Architektur, würden uns freuen, interessierte Teilnehmer noch begrüßen zu dürfen. Die entsprechende Registrierung finden Sie auf unserer deutschen Homepage germany.cignex.com. Ja, das war die Kurzvorstellung von uns und wir freuen uns, wenn es hier interessant fanden und vielleicht noch die eine oder andere Frage haben. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, so maybe I can ask a question to Neil. Neil, as your summary of the top 10 use cases, is there any tip, any hint you can give our auditorium in respect to difficulties in introducing an enterprise content management system today?
One of the main things we need to look at when we introduce an enterprise content management system into the any organization is adoption. So change management is very important in terms of learning, relearning, and usage of the system. This is post deployment, but the preparation needs to start before the system goes live. And technically on the back end, the design of the content model and the architecture has to be good. So these are two things, top two things according to me, which need to be taken care of: the content model and the architecture at the back end, and adoption and change management for the business user.
Okay, fine. Integration with legacy systems, I think this is also a big challenge for our customers. Is there a special pitfall you should take care about in case you have to integrate a new enterprise content management system with an existing IT landscape, with existing legacy systems?
In terms of integration, my personal view would be instead of going with a big bang approach in terms of integrating directly with your mainframe plus LMS and many other systems like ERP, SAP and others, we should go in a phase-wise approach, where in phase 1 we probably integrated with the back-end
wären wir am Ende des heutigen Webinars. Ich hoffe, wir hoffen, dass hat interessante Erkenntnisse vermittelt. Und ja, wir würden uns freuen, Sie bei einem der späteren Webinare wieder